But in the end, I think it is going to collapse, and we're at the point where we have to start thinking, what do we want to bring on to replace it?
All right. By the way, provocateurs and In the Fed rally article is up. I'm looking at photos and videos of these guys. They're definitely cops. These aren't just provocateurs or hired informants. I can look at these guys. They are police, 100%.
The New World Order beast is genetically modifying your food, mixing vegetables with animals, and now experimenting with viruses. Without a long-term food solution, you will have just two options: starve, or surrender. All canned food supplies will eventually run out. What then? Grow your own healthy food and feed your family forever. SurvivalistSeeds.com is now the nation's largest bulk heirloom seed company. And it's owned by a real patriot, Big John Lipscomb. You can now have an infinite amount of healthy vegetables like a watermelon, a bundle of carrots, or tomatoes for a little more than a penny each. SurvivalistSeeds.com. And now you can go into business with Big John at SurvivalistSeeds.com by becoming an affiliate. See his link at SurvivalistSeeds.com.
All right, Mike, I want to start going to calls in the next segment and then get into the whole 9/11 situation coming up with you. Maybe give you a little bit in the next hour, but I got to get into this overall militia demonization that's going on. Speaking of that, it's come out in state testimony, and I've talked to people involved at the state hearing. We're working on getting some of them on the next few days, including state representatives. And state police were censured, did get in trouble by the state attorney general over this. And the deputy lieutenant governor also exposed what was happening. But it turns out, you look at these guys, classic MO. They're cops. They're wearing these yellow bands. They're wearing the same outfits. They have the cop build. But the state's also reporting that they were there saying, let's do illegal things, let's attack. And we said this in Denver. We said this in Ottawa. We've been right every time. When you look at them, you can instantly tell a cop. You know, they normally only put cops they think can take care of themselves in these situations. They're normally about 6'2" to 6'5". Big arms. It's the steroid-type cops, the intelligence units. These are probably feds. A lot of times they command squads, though, of meth heads that are under them, the local foundation drug addicts, and they've been caught. And they have anarchist sites that attack me. We know they're feds as well. They've been caught getting federal money. But the state's reporting they think this was provocateur. I agree. Looking at them, we'll put the image up on screen. It's up on PrisonPlanet.com. Provocateurs at In the Fed rally. These are cops, bottom line. I can look at you. I can tell you these are cops. Go ahead, Mike Rivero.
Well, first of all, I want to start off by saying that I know everyone talks about revolution and guns and militias and the rest of it, but the reality is this revolution is already underway, and it's going to be one with keyboards, not with firearms. It's going to be one with microphones. It's going to be one with computers and so forth and so on. But the government is desperate to recast the image of the opposition into that of a villain, because it all comes down to public support. The side with the most public support is going to win. When the founding fathers wanted to start a new nation and kick the old government out, they needed support of the general public. So those of us who want to effect change in this country, we need the support of the general public. We need them out there marching with us, protesting with us, signing petitions with us, urging change. What the government wants to do is put out a bunch of these agent provocateurs to pretend to be part of our group and then behave in a way that will destroy public sympathy for us. I think the classic example of that happened back in the Vietnam War, where the FBI, operating under orders from the Nixon White House, used their undercover college informants, and they're still on there today. Any students listening to this show, you need to be aware of that. And they used their undercover college informants to organize a multi-campus anti-war demonstration in front of the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim, California. Once they were there, the undercover agents provocateurs led the protest inside the park and started causing a lot of property damage. The newspaper photographers showed up, took pictures, the National Guard showed up. The next day it was on every newspaper in America, and in that one headline of those so-called peace activists beating up on Mickey Mouse, they completely discredited the anti-war movement, which allowed the Vietnam War to continue for another 2 years.
And then later came out in the Senator Church Committee, this is all confirmed that they do this. And now it's coming out. We fingered years ago Hal Turner as FBI, and now it's admitted he is.
Yeah, they're using that as his defense in court, that he was only doing what the federal government told him to do. I mean, the government survives by creating the very enemies we're supposed to be afraid of. The Symbionese Liberation Army was manufactured by the FBI. They kidnapped Petty Hearst to guarantee themselves newspaper coverage. And by
the way, that's now been declassified, that it was all staged with her, staged with the Hearst family. That's Popular Mechanics. You know, the father of yellow journalism, all staged. All staged.
And now we've got the British Secret Service has declassified documents. The whole hijacking that led to the raid on Entebbe was also staged. It was done to destroy popular support for the Palestinians, who had nothing to do with it. And so when you're out there and you're seeing these groups that are saying we're opposed to the government, and they're acting in a way that is just going to scare you, they're probably government plants, because that is the only way the government can destroy sympathy for those of us who want to restore this country to the freedoms that we used to have. They're out there trying to convince you that terrorism, which is made by the government, is the justification to surrender your personal freedoms and rights. That's all they can think of selling you. Because as long as you have freedom of speech and you have the freedom to go out on the net and find information for yourself, the government is doomed, because they've survived so long on lies they don't have anything else to hold them up.
Well, Mike, you're right. This is a 2 + 2 = 4 equation. If the whole economy is being converted to police and military and anti-terror, and private groups are making all the money off of it, who stands to gain to have terrorism? Key bono, who benefits? Motive. And then you go look at the evidence, it's them. And so they're going to stage attacks, they're going to shoot people, they're going to do all this, they're going to do another Oklahoma City. I see that in the cards, unless we get the word out. But even if they do it, we just expose that event. They want it to be violent. That tells you shouldn't be violent.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
A couple of announcements, then we're going to take some of your calls, and then get into Mike Rivero's expert take. He's one of the most careful and thoughtful 9/11 investigators out there on the... So we'll get his take on the whole National Geographic hit piece last night that I didn't have time to watch the whole thing. I was busy working on the new film, Fall of the Republic. Speaking of films, you need to get the most important film, the biggest film I've ever made, The Obama Deception, on DVD. And when you get it, make copies of it. You want to have a revolution? Buy a DVD burner. Buy a bunch of copies, a bunch of blank DVDs. Make 100. Make a copy or two every night. Give them to friends, family, neighbors. Put them on windshields of police cars. Give them to neighbors. Whatever. This will break the left-right paradigm. They think they're watching an Obama film against Obama. They find out that it exposes Bush, Obama as just being frontmen puppets. It shatters that left-right control system. High-quality DVD with the extras. And when you purchase the film, you support the radio show and the TV studios I'm building and the websites and the work we're doing that has huge cost associated with it as we try to up our game and do a better and better job for you out there. But we are the tip of the spear. We're stepping up to the plate with our responsibility. We're asking you to support us. So The Obama Deception on DVD, available at Infowars.com on the online shopping cart. Watch it in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Mike, I mean, we understand they're hiring provocateurs. We understand they're hiring white supremacists. We understand they're doing all this. Ford Foundation funds La Raza. That means for our race, everything. For those outside our race, nothing. They had the former Austin mayor, when he was mayor, get up and give a proclamation that Hispanics are the master race. I mean, I have the video of this. It's insane. So they want us all fighting with each other. Yes. And they're just going to, I guess, continue to do it. I think the key here is we need citizens to go stake out these protests and in the Fed events and follow the troublemakers home and put them under full surveillance and shoot video of them and show that they're cops or that they're informants and follow them to the police station, follow them when they meet their handler, and then put it up on YouTube, do a report. And then we need to start arresting these people. I mean, don't the Denver cops that attacked the other Denver cops try to blame it on the protesters last year? Denver Post admits, the police admit. I mean, shouldn't they go to jail? Shouldn't all these cops that do this go to jail, Mike?
They don't seem to. I mean, we see cops committing these kind of provocations, and somebody says, oh, this is for the good of the nation and national security, and it serves a higher purpose, and all of a sudden the court system turns a blind eye. I think anybody who still expects a fair administration of justice from the American legal system is living in a dream world, because the American legal system is to basically keep the people down, to extract wealth from them, to justify corporate theft and government persecution, and anybody who commits a crime in the name of the government, basically they're allowed to get away with it. I mean, look at the free pass that's been given to all the people who were carrying out torture and other war crimes in Iraq. And nothing's going to happen to them. It's very obvious they're going to be protected. We've got Dick Cheney out there saying, yeah, we were out there doing all this stuff. What are you going to do about it? And that really is their attitude. And you're absolutely correct. Right now the government is trying to create the illusion that those of us who want freedom are the bad guys, that there's something wrong with us, that we don't trust big daddy government to look after our every single need and want.